This is the Aftermarket Radio Network.
Welcome to another episode of Speak Up Effective Communication, the show focused on communication skills for the industry that keeps everybody moving reliably on our journeys, the auto repair industry. I'm your host, Craig O'Neill. Hey, Happy New Year. In today's episode, I want to take you along a thought process that I've been on for several weeks now over the holidays. And it was a thought process really spurred by an article that was shared with me and then some of the discussions that came along with it. Also, I'm going to introduce a new element to our episode, something influenced by my participation in Toastmasters, and that is the introduction of a word of the day, a word of my choosing. With this, I just figured that together we'll improve our vocabulary, one word a week each week. So I'll choose a word that's related to the topic that's being discussed. And today's topic is all about that mode of communication with unmatched intentionality. It is the written word. To go along with this, today's word of the day will be anachronistic. I'll share the definition on this word, and you'll see why I chose it after these words from our sponsors who make this show possible. Looking to take your shop to the next level of quality service, team culture, and overall profitability? At the Institute, we provide personalized coaching that aligns with your goals of financial stability, excellent customer service, and employee satisfaction. Our priority is helping you establish significant and sustainable progress. We work with you to create strategies that reduce the stress of running your business, improve your quality and performance, and optimize your profitability. Experience the benefits of professional coaching by visiting wearetheinstitute.com/business-assessment. Hey friends, as you know, I'm a proud member of the AutoFlow team, and let me tell you, we've changed how business is done for auto shops everywhere. We support your client experience before, during, and after the work is done. Imagine this: timely updates sent directly to your clients, branded digital vehicle inspections, and seamless communication from start to finish. That's why shops love AutoFlow. And hey, with those 5-star reviews rolling in, you'll wonder how you ever managed without us. Take an important next step and take your auto shop to the next level. Visit www.autoflow.com. Get on board with an AutoFlow trial. Are you ready to meet your perfect auto repair shop management software partner? Well, say farewell to the days of transactional relationships and hello to a true partnership that elevates your business. The #1 all-in-one solution is AutoLeap. You're not just getting software, you're gaining a dedicated ally committed to your success. AutoLeap will help you sell more, save time, and delight your customers at every turn. From scheduling appointments to creating estimates, generating invoices, managing technicians, and seamlessly syncing with QuickBooks to keep your records updated, experience the difference a true partnership makes. Visit AutoLeap.com and book a demo today. AutoLeap, your trusted partner for success. Want to see your auto repair shop thrive? Are you looking to drive more customers to your auto repair shop? Let ShopDog Marketing be your guide. Our customer-first approach, combined with AI-driven creative content, ensures top rankings. Dominate mobile-first and voice search with our specialized expertise. Reach out to ShopDog Marketing today and start growing your business. Don't miss out on this chance to boost your business. Visit shopdogmarketing.com. Inbound has exclusively served independent auto repair shops with expert communication solutions for years. Our robust VoIP platform ensures you stay connected while our industry-leading AI analytics take your business to the next level. We provide the tools you need to understand your customers and optimize every interaction. Choose Inbound for proven expertise and unmatched innovation. Visit callinbound.com and discover the difference we can make. Okay, we're back, and yes, the word of the day is anachronistic. This is an adjective, folks. It means old-fashioned, something belonging to an earlier period or generation. The Greek root there, ana, meaning against, and then chronos, meaning time, against time. Anachronism would be the noun version. That's a thing belonging to an appropriate period other than that in which it currently exists. So the word anachronistic, we're talking about handwritten notes, letters, intentionality behind that today in a day of high-tech digital communication. And that is the topic of the article that was shared with me that sent me on this thought process. So bear with me here. I think you'll find this interesting. Now, this article was from Forbes. It was shared with me by my boss, Chris Cloutier. We have an active and ongoing little hangout chat for our organization. They occasionally will share interesting articles or other things that we're reading about. And it's a nice ongoing chat, totally secure, I'm sure. And security matters in this topic because this article was pretty alarming. It's about some serious vulnerabilities of the telecommunication infrastructure in the United States and really the world. So in this article, and we'll link this in the show notes for you here. In this article, the FBI was urging Americans to shift towards encrypted channels of communication. And that would include things like WhatsApp or Telegram or some other third-party applications. Even, yes, Facebook Messenger of all things would still use encryption end-to-end. But what's significant about it is that the RCS versus SMS technology infrastructure with texting, it's different between Apples and Androids. And the way that things are, you lose the encryption. If you're going Apple to Apple, you're safe. If you're going Android to Android, you're safe. But when you have cross-platform text conversations occurring between those two things, well, you're dealing with some extreme vulnerabilities. The FBI is aware of extreme level. I don't even think they know the depths of it, where the PRC, People's Republic of China, has been very successful in getting information. Now, this may not seem concerning to you. It is less concerning for average people. In our regular conversations, I have teenagers. I can only imagine poor hackers having to decipher so much of the nonsense among many throngs of teenagers throughout the country every day. I don't even know how you would begin to filter through this stuff, but I'm sure they do. But here's the thing. If you're using texting for business, if you're using texting as a government employee, anytime you're handling sensitive information, this is something that you should definitely be aware of. This is just the article that was shared with me. The thought process that how we got to the written word here, this is because of a conversation, and I get cool articles and I read them. I also will share them with some family members. I have some pretty cool uncles. Some of them are involved in technology. And one of my uncles I was chatting with about this as I shared the news, he's got a great sense of humor. Basically, we started to suggest that we should really think about shifting our correspondence back to letter writing like the old days. And my uncle, of course, being quite humorous, adds that we'll be in his hearts and that they will update us again after the winter thaw. Humor aside, as we continued our dialogue on the text thread, we realized that, you know what? We really should make an effort to rekindle the idea of letter writing. It is, in fact, a lost art. And earlier generations knew that these letters that they wrote would be saved for posterity. I went down another rabbit trail of a book that I read way back when I was studying history in college. It was called Founding Brothers. And in it, one of my favorite chapters in that book is about the letters between Thomas Jefferson and John Adams as they got over their rivalries, and over a period of several years of letter writing actually did rekindle their friendship. And famously, they both passed away on July the 4th, I believe it was 1826, if I remember correctly. And it was just it was interesting to see all those letters laid out and the language that's used in this thing and the deliberate intentionality that went into the written word in those times compared to all of the issues that we have now today. And think about it. I would choose three more words really to describe the topic today, where we can talk about security of our communication. But now in 2025, as AI is coming into things, authenticity is a word that we've been using here on this podcast. And also, and the word that I've used in the topic in this particular episode is intention. Intention, the intentionality that goes behind our communication. I think that as you look at things historically, the best form of communication still, and any of us who are looking forward to industry events over the spring and throughout the year, we understand networking in person way better than doing anything digitally. It's even better for me. I'm not talking one way in this conversation with our listeners. I get to engage in two-way dialogue there, face-to-face, present communication. That's the best thing. Now, digital communication helps us with convenience. It makes it very easy. But the written word, that gives us a tangible something to hold on to. And so I would argue that in terms of distance communication, one of the most profound and best ways to connect is through a written note. Now, I learned this very early on in my life because when I was dating my wife, there was one year where she was at college out of state and I was still back home at college, and we were talking on cell phones, most of our correspondence. This is pre-smartphone day, folks, pre-smartphone. That means the texting, not really something we did much. You had to, it was like, what, 6 keystrokes just to say hi in a text message, no QWERTY keyboards, nothing, right? So it was talking on the cell phone, and talking on a cell phone in those days meant a plan that was billed based on the minutes used. Our parents didn't like the bill very much. And so what we really did start to do is we wrote letters and made mixtape CDs and all that stuff there. And we saved a lot of this stuff. I will not share that. That's just way too dorky. No way. But here's the thing. We both look back fondly at that time where we took that intentionality, and that's exactly what I'll call it, into our correspondence in such a way that yeah, we got to know each other better than even in person or over the phone. I think it was a very healthy time for our relationship. And of course, we became engaged and married not too very long after all of that. But enough about me. I want to talk more about what this has to do with our communication in the shop today, how we can take this idea of letter writing and sort of rekindle this into our routines, hopefully. And maybe not routine is the right word, but something a little more intentional, a little out of the ordinary, something that'll help us stand out. Why? Well, look, the security thing, that was interesting. That's really just a primer for this discussion. I see AI as the new trend that is coming along. And I kind of joke around with some of my other shop owner friends that I talk to, even my boss with his shop. Lots of people are using AI to help draft their response to things like even reviews. Someone gives you a great review at your shop and you respond often now. A lot of people are responding with AI. They'll click a button in some programs now and you can have the response there. And I'm not going to knock that feature. It has value. It can help us fix some of our poorly written words and come across better. There's all sorts of reasons this can be used for good. So again, I have some strong opinions on AI usage today, but here's the point. Someone took the time to write you a glowing review. It's worth a little bit of our time to try to find the right words based on theirs yourself, that it comes from you with intention. I think that we lose something if it just becomes a click response, an automatic thing. It becomes, in my opinion, meaningless if there wasn't your thought and your heart and you going into that message. Let that sink in a minute, because AI is not supposed to replace you. It's supposed to help you. Now, I don't see that being the case. I personally have reached out to a business very recently that I was very pleased with. Great personal interactions with the staff there. And I called it out in my review that I thoughtfully put together and put out there for the world to see. And the response that I received to the review was so obviously an AI response. And I felt a little robbed. Like I felt like 1-star lower review robbed on that. It felt phony then. And that as the last touch that the business had with me. Not so great. Not so great. We can be better than that. So look at it this way. I know that letter writing or writing notes or anything on stationery and leaving that for a client, it might seem anachronistic in today's technical world. But look, as one of the gifts, and this is kind of why it came to mind, my wife had provided some cards that she makes with her artwork as stationery. These are blank cards and they can be sent out and mailed. And I put these in some of my correspondences to people and thanking them for their support this year and things like that. And I mean, I used to do this back in the day. And when I was working full time at the shop, I used to get picked on a little bit for it. Sometimes I'd be still writing a note there as I'm getting my invoices together and say, oh, what's Craig doing? Oh, he's writing love letters to the client again. It's like, come on. But hey, you know what? Yeah, write a love letter to your clients. Why not? Leave that physical note in the car. It's a nice touch. And honestly, in this day and age where it's going to get harder, it's not hard right now. I can tell when something's written by AI, it's going to get harder. I wonder if anyone had any real intentionality behind a digital correspondence. Sometimes it becomes too automatic. It becomes too routine. What happens if we get a written message? Then it just cuts right through the noise. So it's so weird that this is the world we're heading into, where something old-fashioned like this is probably going to be the thing that people will start to do in order to stand out in a real, genuine, authentic way. And that, I believe, would be some unmatched intentionality. So yeah, don't look at letter writing as something that is anachronistic. I think it has a real solid place in our future. And I think it's worth developing your skills and crafting a message in your handwriting. But look at this too. And I'll leave you with this sort of thought. Taking notes and handwriting in general is something uniquely human and very important for our minds. Before we had written language and symbols, of course, it was oral tradition that took place, but the ability to handwrite a message, there's some reasons why this is helpful, and better note taking would be another great goal for our service advisors in general, because you can take a lot of notes pretty easy on a blank sheet of paper instead of having to worry about it being the right prompts and fields inside of a shop management system. You can get a lot of notes there of a more complex nature in a more free-flowing conversation, but it's really just that. The complexity of using your mind and the fine motor skills of your hand, putting down ideas into written language. That's actually really something. And because there's so many parts of your brain involved with those fine motor skills and writing something, it helps you retain the information better. You're also engaging some creativity of your own when you're writing a note. Your style of handwriting, I wouldn't call mine a style per se. It's really more of a Spartan attempt at getting an idea scratched out. Handwriting, not my strong suit. My wife and my daughters, they're really good, but not mine. But hey, you can work on that too. But it's actually just the engagement of those physical senses as you physically write something down. And then what you have is an actual tangible note. I'm not very organized. I actually use a Remarkable tablet when I take written notes. I love this thing because I can organize my notes digitally, and the feedback that I get on that screen is actually a lot like paper, digital paper, they'll call it. Really cool tool. So yeah, note taking, letter writing, unmatched intentionality. It is the most secure form of communication. Perhaps we need a wax seal next in case the courier that we send a letter is, no, I digress. But here's the thing. I'll leave you with this quote, and I think it's a relevant quote for this. Pliny the Elder says, "True glory consists in doing what deserves to be written, in writing what deserves to be read, and in so living as to make the world happier and better for our living in it." Remember, we mentioned the Dale Carnegie quote all the time here, that there is no such thing as a neutral exchange. You always leave someone a little better or a little bit worse in every interaction. Well, hey, doing some good deeds, writing a thank you, writing that note out, I think this is a great thing to do. And hey, if it deserves to be read, it deserves to be written by you. So, hey, I want to know, is your shop composing handwritten letters or notes to your clients? Let me know if that is the case, or let me know also if you've received a handwritten correspondence with a business that you visit. Tell me about it by emailing me here, speakup@CraigO'Neill.net. O'Neill is ONEILL, 2Ls.net. Speakup@CraigO'Neill.net. We love to hear from you. We appreciate hearing from you on anything that helps, or something you want to learn about, anything on a communication topic that interests you, or perhaps you're just interested in joining me as a guest and speak up about something yourself. Now, also remember to please listen up to the other shows on the Aftermarket Radio Network. Carm Capriato's Remarkable Results Radio. We have Matt Fonslow's Diagnosing the Aftermarket A through Z. I'm looking forward to having Matt as a guest sometime soon. In fact, we also have Hunt Demarest, Business by the Numbers, Brian and Kim Walker's The Auto Repair Marketing Podcast. Definitely need to reciprocate a visit with Kim or Brian over here. I've been a guest on their podcast as well. I have lots of cool topics to discuss with them. And Coach Chris Cotton, need to talk with that man as well. His Weekly Blitz podcast, great insights of wisdom from a great coach. And hey, once again, thank you to our sponsors. Thank you for joining us on this communication journey. As always, my friends, in this new year, set those communications good. Set those communication goals good, and listen up before you speak up. See you next time.
You've been listening to Speak Up, Effective Communication with Craig O'Neill on the Aftermarket Radio Network. Follow Craig on your favorite podcast listening app and on his YouTube channel. Let him know what you'd like him to speak up about. Craig is all for advancing the automotive service aftermarket.